Morning, happy Monday morning. One thing I realized is I really like cooking in the mornings, and I love cooking on Mondays. Um, I'm not sure why. I guess maybe it's because, instead of working, I'm like, oh, I'll cook instead. But it's super productive. It gets things out of the way for me. Today I'm making the cheesy kale soup and the eggplant roll-ups again. I make those a lot. I really like them. They're kind of my go-tos lately. And I just ran out of everything yesterday, so I'm making it again. I have a little bit of old leftover of my breakfast porridge and some steamed veggies left, like one portion of each, which is perfect. So that's what I'm gonna have for breakfast when I get real hungry. I'm gonna power through making these two recipes, and then I'll have a bunch of food for me ready to go for the rest of the week. I need to get, actually I forgot, I should have gotten some stuff to steam, but no, that's right, I have a bunch of vegetables in the freezer that I can steam for having some extra veggies, and then I've got enough lettuce for salads and all that good stuff, so I should be set for the week. I want to talk a little bit about where I'm feeling with the fruits and the sweets and stuff like that. I've been considering for about a week or so now to do a real hardcore purge of fruit, like real sweet fruit stuff, like to stop, like the sugar thing. So I wanted to talk here. I'm just going to sit down for this because this is going to be a second. I wanted to talk about, so I weighed myself this morning and I'm in a real good place. I'm at like 122.5, which is great. It means I've only gained about a pound and a half since the challenge is over, which for me, this is a record. Like I've never been able to sort of maintain my weight this long. But it shows that the amount of exercise I'm getting is, and the types of foods that I'm eating are good enough to sort of maintain. I'm excited about that. That makes me really happy. Because everyone has seen, what I've eaten over the last few weeks since I stopped the challenge. While I may have felt bad about certain things, it still was enough to keep me in a good place. I feel like I have gotten a lot of vegetables. I'm really getting better at having a lot of vegetables during the day, getting the G-bombs in. And so what I wanted to talk about was this idea of these gradual transitions, because for me, Berman's always talking about how you should, I like cold turkey's best, kind of, like you should really try to get everything done at once. Now, for me, it's been like 3.5 years that I've really started to feel like I'm coming into my own here. But honestly, it's because of that 20-day challenge that I feel like I'm here. So I can't say, for certain whether if I had just started 100% and really put a lot of, well, here's the thing. If there had been a program like the 20-day challenge, or if he had like a 42-day challenge or something like that, back then when I first started, I feel like it would have been easier. That's why I personally am working to create these specific types of programs for my site that I want to sell as well. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner plans, what to do for a certain amount of days so you can know exactly what to do, videos to help you with understanding concepts about why and all that. I'm putting together programs like this because that's what's helped me. It's the nutrition information in your head that's what really keeps you going, and understanding why you're doing it, and then doing all of the little things like 3 meals a day, no snacking, limited dried fruits, no meat, no dairy, no extra sugar, all these little rules, having mushrooms and onions every day, using beans as your main source of sustenance, like, protein kind of, instead of pasta, instead of grains, that kind of stuff. All these different things that are extremely important in Nutritarianism. I think it's important that we work on all of those things. Now for me, because there hasn't been a specific program that's helped me say like, okay, for these 42 days, here's what you're doing. I kind of had to put it all together myself until this 20-day challenge came around. It's been learning lessons over the 3 years. Like for a long time, I pretty much only used spinach, and then I got kidney stones, and that was a signal to me that I needed to vary my greens and I needed to do this. Then with the salt, like I used so much Bragg's in the beginning thinking that that was okay. And it wasn't until I stopped using salt that I started to appreciate the flavor of all the vegetables, and then now I really like them and I want them, like for breakfast, and I want some at every meal. And like last night we had raw veggies and dip for dinner, which is something I would have never been interested in before, but I actually craved it. So these little lessons that I have over time, as I'm going through all these lessons, like I kind of wish I would have done them all at once in the beginning, but I didn't. And also, I don't know if we can, like to do every single thing all at once. The big thing for me was that I think one of the main things is that learning all the recipes, knowing so many recipes like in my head that I love, like this cheesy kale soup, the eggplant roll-ups, the salad I love, my weight loss salad that I do, the Mexican salad, all these different things, having that ammunition in my head, knowing how to just throw together a dressing that I think is amazing instead of having to use his recipes all the time. The flavors that I love, all these different lessons I've learned over the years, putting that all together is really, I think, what's gotten me to where I am. And to be able to wear these tiny shorts, this is crazy, and feel comfortable, like this shirt. Okay, I gotta tell you something about this shirt. Here we go. See this shirt here is super skin tight. This is not the kind of shirt you would have ever seen me in my life before. And I gotta tell you a little story about this shirt. This is very personal, but this particular shirt I got from Hollister. It's one of these skin tight shirts that you would never wear if you felt like you had a little extra weight to lose, This particular shirt I used to wear when I weighed about 140, 150, between those two ranges when I was married to my ex. And I remember one time, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I just remember one time and English isn't his first language, so I don't necessarily know that he knew what he was saying to me, but I said to him something like, "Oh, I love this shirt so much," and he goes, "Yeah, you look so cute and chubby," and I was like, that was like this huge thing. I was like, "Oh my God, like, you have no idea what you just said to me. You hurt me so blah, blah." It was like this big thing, and then ever since then, I never wore the shirt because I was like, oh, like I suddenly didn't like the shirt anymore. And I'm wearing this shirt again, and I feel like I'm wearing it like the way it's meant to be worn. Like it looks fine. So I would have never gotten to this place where I could wear this shirt every day for the next 6 months, I feel like, and I wouldn't be gaining weight. I would feel fine in it. It'd be the right size. I don't feel like I would be gaining weight. Like, I really feel like now it's been a few weeks since I finished the challenge, and I'm still practically the same way I was at when I ended. And it hasn't been too much of a struggle, honestly. Like, I've been eating stuff I feel like I shouldn't have eaten, but I still haven't really gained much weight. It goes to show that plant foods digest a whole lot different than animal foods, blah, blah, blah. So, I feel like maybe I'm rambling here, but I just want to kind of get this out. This is more for me than anything. But the main point I wanted to make was these things that we change over time. Like, it took me a long time to get the salt thing. I just couldn't give it up. I just didn't want to. I come from a family where we use salt a lot. My dad used to salt every single meal before he even tried it. I used to salt my ham at Easter. I mean, really massive amounts of salt. And so for a long time I was just like, I don't believe in that. I don't want to give it up. I'm not going to do it. If I don't like these soups, because I never liked soup before, when I wouldn't use salt, and now I have certain soups that I really love, and I know I wouldn't have liked them without salt. And now I feel like my very last challenge, the last thing I have to deal with as a person, internally, emotionally, psychologically, is the sugar thing. Because lately, ever since I went on the 20-day challenge or whatever, the sugar is the thing that I've just been holding on to. No, I'm not ready to give it up. I don't want to. So I just haven't, and I haven't talked about it much either. I talk about the fact that I eat things I know I shouldn't be eating, but I don't talk about what I want to change because I'm not ready. I wasn't ready. If I wasn't ready to give up salt, I'd be like, I'm not doing it, and I wouldn't even be talking about it, But I really feel like this is the point where I'm ready to give up sugar. Maybe not today. We'll see what happens, but it's to the point now where I'm starting to be very conscious of it, and I'm starting to think, okay, once I get through these groceries, maybe I'll do a big purge where I only have low sugar fruits for a while. Honestly, Candida's been an issue for me too. That's one of the TMI things I didn't really want to talk about, but that's an issue for me when I have way too much high sugar things. And it's funny because I'm not even eating sugar like I used to. I remember when I was in my early 20s and I would have PMS, I would go out and buy 2 like movie theater size bags of M&Ms, one of peanut butter and one of regular. And I would literally eat the whole bags, 2 whole bags in one night. That used to be my old pattern. I'd get headaches, I'd feel so terrible, whatever, but I couldn't stop. Sugar's always been my thing. And of course, I don't eat like that at all anymore. I'm not even interested. I don't even think about sugar like that. I look at like, I watched the sugar, That Sugar film yesterday. It's a documentary about sugar. And I was like seeing the beginning credits and the beginning imagery of all this, you know, candy and bonbons and jujubes and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, this is interesting. Like, not even interested. I didn't care about it. Whereas before I would be like salivating, like, you know, now if you put like a chocolate cake in front of me, I'm gonna be like, that looks like it would be delicious. But as far as just like that straight up sugar stuff, like just thinking of having like an iced tea with just sugar in it, no thanks. So I'm getting to the point now where I feel like I'm getting ready to do this purge and to fix this one final thing about myself that I feel like is kind of my main challenge. Is using so much sugar. And for me, it's not even added sugar. It's like dates, or it's, you know, having a ton of grapes or something to get over some type of craving or whatever. I just feel like what I need to do is have like a 30-day challenge for myself, which is just like very strict, like not a ton of bananas, maybe no banana ice cream, or if it's going to be banana ice cream, it's only bananas and some low sugar fruit. But of course, I don't like bananas much, so that won't be a huge problem of actually not having a lot of bananas, because if I'm having it just with low sugar fruit, I won't like the taste of it. Then having like, you know, maybe just green apples for a while, or lots of berries or something like that. I'm making some split peas, so I was just checking on them. And you know, so I think I might do this like challenge of like 30 days just to get rid of it, just out of my life. That way I go through probably some really intense cravings for 2 or 3 weeks, and then hopefully at the end of it, I'll just be like, I don't need it anymore. I'll find ways to kind of just get through those moments. I'm thinking of exercising in the afternoons, maybe if I'm starting to crave like getting outside, or going on the treadmill at the gym here. Because it's the problem is it's been so deadly hot here that I just haven't even wanted to step outside the door after, say, 7 a.m. So now we're actually starting to cool off a little bit, so I feel like I could do that. And yeah, so okay, that's all I'm going to say about this. This is just where I've been. I wanted to kind of give you guys a recap because I haven't been talking too much on camera lately. I just had a nice chill weekend, and you know, had a really, really good food day yesterday. Actually, it's pretty decent. Even though I had banana ice cream, it wasn't terrible. And I'm planning on doing this major hike on Saturday. So we'll see if that happens, or actually what day it ends up happening. But I'm excited for that. My stamina has been great with hiking. Like I feel so much stronger. Cardiovascular is doing really well. I think it's important to just, you know, kind of keep challenging yourself in the way that makes you feel challenged. So if it's maybe you haven't done a lot of exercise in the past, maybe just start like challenge yourself to do like a mile walking a day, just 1 mile per day. Clock it out with your car, get in your car, drive around, find out what a mile is, and then drive back half a mile and drive back. And then just, you know, put on some walking shoes and go do it. Do that every day for 6 months if you need to. But if you do it, you know, that's something for me. Like I always started off walking. Like I would do 2 to 3 miles a day in the beginning, like years ago. And I would just make sure I did that like almost every day. And I would not make myself feel bad about the fact that that's all I was doing, because that's better than what it was, you know. And then I would add in, I started to rollerblade. So I would rollerblade a few miles. And then I got up to 10 miles, where I would just rollerblade 10 miles a few times a week, plus some walking. And rollerblading is really like, I would go slow. I wouldn't even really go fast. So that's not even a difficult exercise. You're just kind of pushing along, you know, for an extended period of time. So those were kinds of my types of exercise that I would do when I lived in Florida, because it was flat. There was nothing else you could really do. I hated everything. I hate indoor stuff. So those were my 2 things I would do. Now I moved here on purpose so I could have some more intense exercise, because I love hiking. I love rock climbing, that kind of stuff. So I did that kind of on purpose to move here to have that. And now it's really, since I love it, the stamina's gotten so much better. It just gets better and better every time you do it. and I'm adding in a little bit. Like the other day, I do this one hike where I do this really difficult part that goes uphill really fast, and then I do some push-ups at the top, which is crazy. If you'd asked me about this a couple years ago, I'd be like, nope, not doing the push-ups. But now I like it. I really, really like to add a little bit in now. And so maybe I'll do some ab work or something at some point in the future, or maybe I'll actually just get some weights out and do a little bit here and there. But as you do more, when you start, you're able to do more pretty quickly, like within a month or something. So you can always add it in, or you can always not add it in. Just be where you're at, but just exercise some. I really honestly feel like that's been the big thing that's kept me going and kept me really on track lately, because I have been doing some really intense exercises. But it's exercise I love. So say if you like riding a bike more, or if you like being in a gym, or you like going to classes and having someone tell you what to do, that's, whatever it is, just find something that helps you move, because it does really help your how you feel about stuff too mentally. After you get done, you feel so much better. You get those endorphins and blah, blah, blah. So okay, this is a long video, 16 minutes. I gotta go. That's all I'm gonna say for today. But let me know what you think about the stuff I talked about. Maybe the sugar thing. If you have, let me know. Let me know what things you are challenged by. Because mine is sugar right now. But let me know, what is the thing that you're reluctant to give up, but you know you should. That's what I want to talk about. Let me know about that. And then also, let me know about exercise if you're interested. Tell me about that. What's something that you want to do and you know you should do, but you don't? Let's talk about these kinds of things that we need to improve in ourselves. Bye! One note about cooking. Mise-en-place. That's a word from French, which means sort of like to put in place. It's a technique used in cooking. Chefs use it a lot. People who cook quickly use it a lot, because what it is basically getting everything in place before you start cooking. So for instance, in this cheesy kale soup recipe, I've just taken some time to chop up some arugula, some kale, all my mushrooms and onions here. I got my sauces ready to go, my carrot juice ready to go. I got all my ingredients ready to go. So that way I can just throw everything together and let it cook, do its thing, and then I'm done. It saves a lot of frustration, and it also actually makes you cook a lot faster. You wouldn't think it would, but it actually does. So that's an important tip, and I cook so quickly because of it. And when I do my next recipe, the eggplant roll-ups, I can get those done in 25 minutes, minus the cooking time. I've already done most of it here because I chopped up a bunch of the greens for this other recipe too, but you can get all of your stuff done so quickly if you just read the recipe first and then prepare your stuff and then go. All right, eggplant roll-ups are ready to go in the oven. These just take about 30 minutes and that'll be done. And I also have the cheesy kale soup done as well. And oh my God, this soup is like heaven. So these two meals, along with some salads throughout the next few days, will get me through. These eggplant roll-ups will last me a long time. The soup will last me a long time. When I made it on, I think it was Friday, I made this stuff before. We went through it real quick because there was 3 people eating. It's just going to be me during the days. So it'll stretch really well, which is good. I can also freeze some of this if I want to, if I get sick of it and want to freeze it. So meals are ready. Just snacking on some of these tomatoes while I'm warming up my breakfast, which is the veggie oatmeal porridge, and I have some steamed veggie leftovers here. And I had a few chickpeas from the fridge as well while I was waiting. All right, it's almost noon already, and I'm just now having breakfast. I was cooking the whole time. I'm having the steamed veggies and leftover porridge thing. This is the last I have of it, so that'll be it. Finally excited and ready to be finished with this, but I'm glad it's also already made and I didn't have to do anything for it. And I'll start off on my new recipes coming up soon. I'm probably just going to keep having the eggplant roll-ups for breakfast and the kale soup with salad and stuff for lunch-ish. And then I'm thinking of, there was an idea from a woman named Amy in our group, the Dr. Furman I think it was in the 10 and 20 group. She was talking about this thing that she does where she takes the breakfast, the oatmeal breakfast, berries stuff. She uses those for desserts for those meals. So I'm thinking of doing that, or else just using that as my meal in the afternoon, because that'll be less fruit, be a little bit of extra grain, but I think that'll be okay because I don't eat too much grain. Yeah, so I'm thinking of doing that, and that's all I got to say about that. Goodbye! Having some figs for an after breakfast dessert. Swoon. Look at this. Oh. Lucky me. Are you jealous? Are you jealous? Are you jealous? I would be. Lunch is served. Mexican salad. Put too much corn, but whoops. And cheesy kale soup. Yum. Grapes for a snack. Ooh, it's crazy outside. I'm doing my morning walk at night. And the weather's absolutely perfect. I just got something in my eye. Totally perfect, kind of windy, breezy, perfect temperature. Sun's not beating on me. It's fantastic. Just want to make a comment. There's a section here with a bunch of like the desert plants and stuff that I walk by, and it always smells like oatmeal raisin cookies. I swear it smells like oatmeal raisin cookies, which is actually kind of okay because I wouldn't eat those if they were in front of me anyways because I don't like raisins and cookies, but it's nice to have that smell. That's all I wanted to say. Bye.